Hey, what's going on, guys? It's been a long time since I made a video, and so I just want to spend a little bit of time to explain, why I haven't made videos lately, and why I decided to um, just start making one now. And kind of just to explain, why I'm starting to make one now is, all day today I've been thinking um, about posting a video about something that's been on my mind a lot and something that I really wanted to talk about, but I really had to get over this idea of why I haven't made videos in a while. And I think it just stems from my whole reason of why I talked about why I wanted to do this in the first place. So initially, I wanted to start to make these videos because I wanted to use as a platform to kind of share my own thoughts and different things that I was going through, and how I was doing and all that kind of stuff. And while I was making these videos, in the beginning it was very easy. And the reason why I say that is, one, anytime you start something new, it's exciting and you just kind of want to, invest yourself in it. But two, which I think is the biggest reason, is that, as I was making these videos, I was making it more of update videos for people back home. And it was very easy for me to share certain things with people, or again, with people who are back home, and not really having to, I guess, talk about or justify the things that I was saying. Not that I was saying anything that was controversial or anything like that, but um, I've been wanting to make more videos that are, I guess, more thought provoking, or things that are on my mind and are important to me. And I felt like as I've been here a little bit longer, as I've gotten to know people around me here, whether because most of my stuff that I kind of share is through Instagram or Facebook. Usually I post, these kind of my videos and stuff in those two places. And I think the thought of me having to post these videos and putting myself out there and having to interact with people on a regular basis, who have probably seen my video, is something that I felt very uncomfortable with. I felt very nervous about it. I felt very, self-conscious about it, and for that reason, I just kind of didn't want to. And again, my whole reason for creating these videos was to overcome that feeling of not really necessarily caring what people thought, but it kind of, I guess, it just kind of escalated, kind of putting myself out there. And so, and also, I wasn't really sure if the content that I was making was really something that I really wanted to do. You know, I like workout stuff, but it just takes a really long time, and it takes a big burden of my days off. And one of my coworkers, Francisco, he told me to make another one, so I definitely will do that. But it does take quite some time, and it's not something that I realize that what I'm going to be talking about later in this video is something that I want to do more of other than that. But Francisco, I will definitely make that video for you, man. Um, but yeah, I just really wanted to talk about things that were really important to me, and things that I have been thinking about a lot, or conversations that I've had with people that really convicted me, and were things that really stuck with me. And so that's why I want to kind of start sharing today. So one of the big things that I had a lot of conversations with people, after I decided that I was going to quit my job and move, was this idea of, how did I know that this was the right decision for me? And I can honestly say, and even when I think about it and I know that I'm here and things are starting to work out, and I still remember that time when I was trying to decide, I didn't know. I didn't know things were going to work out the way they were. I didn't know that I was going to have these great opportunities that I have now, and to look back on those moments it's so humbling, and I'm so grateful for it. But it didn't come easy for me. And something that I want to share with you guys today is, I'm gonna use an analogy. I don't know if it's because I'm a teacher and I'm a coach, and I've listened to so many sermons that analogies for me just kind of stick. And for me, using this idea of having to make a right decision was so overbearing for me and overwhelming, because I've shared previously in my other videos that I was someone who didn't enjoy taking risks, that I wasn't someone who, um, wanting to go for something unless it was a sure thing. And, I still fight that sometimes. I still have that in me, that I don't want to do something unless I know what I'm getting to for sure. But the whole analogy for me to make this decision to be here is when I was kind of sending a whole bunch of emails out to a lot of barbecue restaurants. And this again was right after I had told my boss that I was quitting, but I still didn't have a job yet. I just knew in my mind that I was stuck and I wanted to do something different. And this is something that I ultimately wanted to pursue. And so I had to kind of put myself out there and do this, but it was so hard for me. And the whole analogy about my analogy is about with doors. That anytime that I'm a classic overthinker. I think about things in so many different situations that it frustrates me. But my decision to move here is I like to think about anytime I make a decision is that I have 1,000 different doors that are open in front of me, and that I'm trying to pick that one right door that I open up, and that is supposed to be that perfect situation that I walk through there, it's everything that I dreamed of. My coworkers are perfect, and the work situation is perfect. I love my job and everything is just great. And that is not likely to happen, that out of these 1,000 doors that you from the start you open the first door and that's where you're at. But that's what I always wanted and always expected, and why I never took a chance, because I never wanted to open a door that wasn't a sure thing. And so for me, it was sending those emails out to barbecue restaurants, and for example, of a barbecue restaurant that maybe a door that just doesn't open up at all is a place that I've emailed and they don't even respond, and I know that boom, I just got rejected from that place. So that one door, it's locked, it's closed, I can't ever get through. And then there's a bunch of other places where they would email you back and just say, hey, it's probably not the right time, right situation for us right now, but good luck to you. And it was always those kind of doors where I'm able to open the door and peek behind it and see, this could possibly be something that I like, but then they ultimately just kind of close the door in your face and say, hey, move along. There are other ones where you open the door and you actually step in and you look around, and you realize that it's not exactly what you wanted, that you get a little more information about who the people are, what they're trying to do at that place, and you are the one who actually closes the door after you stepped in there for a bit. With all that kind of stuff, it's hard when you got all these doors and all these opportunities, and you just can't seem to find the right door. And it's so frustrating to be rejected so many times over and over and over again, and be like, dude, I need to find the right place, but it's not happening. I like using this analogy because there are an unbelievably amount of different opportunities and possibilities for any situation, and it's hard to pick the right one. And the only way that you can really start to have a better idea of where that right door might be is to open a whole bunch of doors, or try to open doors, be rejected by a bunch of them, and just start moving those doors aside. So as you kind of go through this process, instead of 1,000 doors, now you're cut to 500. And now instead of trying to pick one door of 1,000, it's one of 500. And as you continue to open more doors and you get rejected and it's still continuing to suck during the process, now you're cut down to finding one of 10 doors. And then you kind of step back and realize all these other doors that you thought were possibilities really weren't anything, and now you're kind of narrowed down to these few, where you realize that there's not really a bad decision that you can make at any of these places. You might have to do different things in order for it to work, but it's not like you're going to go through this one door and not be able to enjoy it, or to find success in it, or find good people and stuff like that. And for me to think about all those different rejections, it's not really there to hurt you. It's not really there to make you feel bad. It's really there to help you realize that, all those negative things, all that rejection just really helps you to make that positive, right decision more clear, right? That everything else kind of fades away and you're left with these few choices that can work, and you can make it work based off of what you do. And that idea and that analogy has stuck with me for so long now that I try to include it in almost everything that I do. When I think about when I was first trying to look for jobs and stuff like that, it's just that ability to kind of put yourself out there And if a no is a no, then what can you do? But at the same time, really, that rejection, it doesn't really affect you too much, because if you're a no, nothing really changes. You're still left with the same situation. You're still left with whatever you had before. The only thing is you might not get that opportunity, but you don't lose anything else. You're still the same person, the same situation. And so, I just want to be able to encourage you guys to say that rejection is not bad. It's okay. It's going to happen. But when you find that right one, all that negative stuff that happens before, it just makes it seem more right because you put in the work and you've done all that kind of stuff, and it just works. Again, this idea of putting yourself forward, and I think a lot of times I don't, is because I feel very unqualified for everything. And I think I might have shared this before, but I'm going to share it again. That everything that I've done up to this point in terms of career wise, I don't think I've ever been qualified for the work that I've done in terms of being a teacher, or a high school teacher, being a football coach, and working a barbecue restaurant. For example, for being a high school teacher, I knew after I was doing all of my student teaching, I wanted to move into high school. I wanted to work with high school kids, but I didn't have the degree for that. And so, a couple months in December before I graduated, I told one of my friends that I wanted to, look into working in high school, and he told me about a high school job fair that was happening, and he told me to go check it out. And again, I was at that point where I was very nervous and I didn't want to put myself out there, but I just went anyway. And, I explained before I went in, or when I was talking to them, I didn't show them my resume. I just kind of covered it up, and I just kind of held it close to myself. And I just explained my story about, the different kids I've worked with and why I wanted to move into high school. And then they seemed to like my story. And then afterwards, I gave them my resume, and they were basically like, so what are you doing here? And I just said, I just wanted to see if there's any opportunity. And most of them just said no. And so I left there feeling really defeated, being like, man, that was brutal. I got rejected from every single place that I went to. And then later down the road, after I graduated, I kept getting rejected from a whole bunch of middle schools and elementary schools. I couldn't find a job. And one of my same friend who told me to go to a job fair told me to apply for this one position called Parapro, and I had no idea what it was, but I was like, well, if it gets me my foot in the door in a high school, then let's do it. And as I was putting in my information for an online application, I get a phone call from the math department head, and he tells me to come in for an interview. And I only got that interview, or got that phone call, because I sent my resume to them in December, earlier that year. And so after I got that job, I was shocked. I was shocked that I even got an opportunity, that I went through the interviews and all that kind of stuff. And I was so excited, and I was on this kind of high of being, I guess, putting myself out there and being excited to get something. Even before I called my mom and my dad telling them I got this job, I actually sat in the car and I emailed the head football coach on my phone, telling them, hey, I just got a job at the school, and I was looking if you had any opportunities for me to come as a volunteer. I'll do whatever you want. I just wanted to help out. And he told me to come in the next day, and I started coaching from then. And again, I was not qualified for that job either. I had only played 2 years of high school football, barely played. I didn't play college football. The only thing that I've done in terms of football-wise is coach Turkey Bowl for many, many years. But again, still didn't make me qualified to do high school football. And I think all that kind of stuff just came to this moment of making this career change, and all those kind of moments kind of came back to me as I was sending these emails out. And, I wanted to just basically take that energy that I had and put it back into this. And it was hard though. It was way harder than the other ones, because I was telling them, hey, in my emails I was saying, I opened up a mini pop-up barbecue restaurant in my backyard to all these already successful, huge barbecue restaurants in Texas of all places. And so, as I was doing this, I was kind of like, this is so stupid. Like, this is like some child asking for a job that he's done because he played, doctor with his cousin, and stuff like that, and he's asking to become a doctor now. I that's how I felt. But I was like, I gotta put myself out there anyway. And again, luckily I found something. And guys, again, I'm sharing this not to puff my chest up and kind of, and show that I'm great or anything like that. It's just to show that, like, that any of you guys can do this. If there's something that you guys want to do and pursue, there's opportunities out there. You might not be talking to the right person, you might not be in the right situation and stuff like that, but if you ever feel stuck and you know what you want to do and what you want to pursue, you can do it with someone else who's already doing it, or you can just start on your own. One of the things that I get told a lot about people, because back then, a lot of people were asking me about like workout stuff, is there's so many different a lot of different things. I don't know what to do, or what thing I should try and what things I shouldn't try. I'm just like, just do it and see if it works. If it doesn't, then again, door closed, and you move and don't open that door anymore. You move on to the next one, and you keep going until you find the right thing. And I feel like there's a lot of times, and I'm only speaking this out of experience, is that once that door hits you in the face, it's hard and you want to give up. But also at the same time, we have to realize that we have to figure out what we really want and be willing to face the rejection and face the negativity and face that hardship and those failures in order to be at a place that's comfortable for us to really pursue and to really grow in the things that we want to be able to do. Right? Just because I'm here and I got an opportunity doesn't mean that I got it figured out. There's a lot of things that I don't know how to do yet, and I find myself failing at things almost every day at work. Whether it's certain things in the cook that I'm not completely satisfied, when it's like when I'm cutting on the cutting block and things don't come out right. Today I messed up some stuff on the cash register, and it just bothers me all the time. But it's an opportunity for me to go through those mistakes and remember those mistakes and continuously fix them. And so, guys, I just really want to encourage you again, if there's something that you guys want to be able to pursue and work on, you might not necessarily have to, be or talk to someone who's in that field. You can always just talk to someone to help you and to make that next step and be encouraged. And so if, I hope that this video does that for you. I'm not trying to be or this inspirational speaker or anything like that. I'm just speaking from my own experience of being able to put yourself out there and kind of getting what you want because because you're invested in it, because you're interested in it, and people will see that, and you can achieve more than you can ever dream. And so, guys, these are the type of videos that I want to be able to make. There's other things that are going to be things that I try. If there's something that I want to accomplish in that week, and it's there's a certain method of how I try to do things that I think about during the day sometimes help me go through certain hardships, and kind of strategies of what I do to try to pick up new things and stuff like that. Those are things that I want to talk about. So I know this video is really long. Some of you guys are going to click away or not click on this because you see this video is super long. But for those of you guys who actually watch it or have skipped around and have enjoyed this, I'm it's only long because I'm trying to spill out my guts and explain what I want to do from now on. But guys, thank you so much for watching these videos. This is Sunday night. It's 12:30 right now. I actually just got from work, which is why I'm still wearing this t-shirt. But again, I've been thinking about this all day, and it's something that I really wanted to talk about. Something that I know that I can make more videos on because, I'm excited about things like this. So guys, thank you again. Love to have dialogue about this, even though before I said I was nervous about having those kind of things. But thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys in the next video.